Mercury's Avator hybrid just destroyed 3 entire market segments overnight. And the dealer panic is something boat buyers have never seen before. Pure electric startups lost their only advantage. Kicker motor sales collapsed 12% in 30 days. Mid-range 4-strokes cannot compete on efficiency anymore. But there is a catch that Mercury is not telling you. But by the end of this video, you will know which engines just became obsolete, what hybrid ownership actually costs, and why small dealers are quietly closing. The silent takedown everyone missed. Mercury's Lake X facility in Florida ran continuous hybrid trials for 18 months. Engineers were not building another gas outboard. They were killing the electric versus gas debate entirely. The result is the first production outboard that switches power sources mid-cruise without requiring owner intervention. Battery depletes to 20%, gas generator kicks in automatically. No range anxiety, no planning, no manual switching. Return to harbor, system detects proximity and switches back to electric for silent docking. This is not vaporware. This is shipping to dealers second quarter 2025. 3 companies got blindsided and did not see it coming. Torqeedo built an entire brand identity on whisper-quiet electric operation. Mercury just stole that selling point while solving the range problem Torqeedo could not crack. Yamaha's F25 has been the go-to trolling motor for bass anglers for years. It now faces a hybrid that trolls just as quietly, but runs home at full speed without switching engines. E-Propulsion, the electric startup banking on early adopter premium buyers, just watched Mercury's 4,000 dealer network swallow their entire target market. The difference between this launch and every other promised revolution is infrastructure and trust. When Flux Marine promises a revolutionary product, you wait 2 years and hope the company is still around when it ships. When Mercury ships a product, it is on dealer floors in 60 days and backed by Brunswick Corporation's manufacturing scale. That is not just marketing. That is the difference between a prototype and a product you can actually buy and service. Internal Mercury projections suggest hybrid could represent 30% of sub-100 horsepower sales by 2027. That means roughly 25,000 hybrid outboards per year, replacing traditional gas engines. Each one costs dealers approximately $1,800 in lost service revenue over 5 years. Do the math across the entire market, and you are looking at $45 million annually evaporating from dealer service bays. The question everyone should be asking is how Mercury engineered something every other company failed to deliver, how Mercury broke the hybrid code. Every other marine hybrid failed because designers treated boats like cars. Car hybrids work because drivers use them daily and charge nightly. Boat hybrids failed because recreational boaters use them sporadically. The battery dies between trips. You show up to the dock excited for a day on the water and discover you forgot to plug in last weekend. Mercury's engineers realized the problem was not the battery or the motor. It was asking owners to manage a system manually. The electric motor produces 7.5 horsepower continuously, with peak bursts up to 20 horsepower. The gas generator is a single-cylinder 75 cubic centimeter engine that only charges the battery and provides electrical power. It never drives the propeller directly. The battery pack is 5.3 kilowatt hours of lithium iron phosphate chemistry. The smart controller manages everything without requiring owner decisions. Traditional outboards waste fuel because engine RPM varies constantly with throttle position and load conditions. Mercury's gas generator runs at 3,200 RPM constantly when active. That is the sweet spot for maximum efficiency. Over 8 hours of mixed use, the hybrid burns 2.8 gallons versus 4.5 gallons for a traditional 25 horsepower 4-stroke doing the same work. Mercury chose lithium iron phosphate instead of lithium ion. The trade-off is slightly heavier weight. The payoff is longevity and safety. Lithium iron phosphate batteries last 3,000 plus charge cycles versus 1,000 for lithium ion. They tolerate heat better. They do not catch fire. In real-world recreational use, the battery should outlast the outboard itself. Regenerative charging is the feature nobody talks about, but owners notice immediately. When running on gas power, the system recaptures energy during deceleration. You throttle down for a no-wake zone, and the system converts momentum into electrical charge while slowing the boat. Early owners report getting 15 to 20% more electric range per day from regenerative charging alone. While Mercury was perfecting this technology, 3 entire market segments were about to disappear. If this changes how you think about outboards, hit subscribe so you don't miss what's next. The bodies in the wake. The kicker motor market just imploded. Bass boats and walleye fishing rigs have run dual motor setups for decades. Big gas engine for running between spots. Small kicker motor for silent trolling. Mercury's hybrid replaces both with a single unit. Yamaha's F9.9 high thrust. Mercury's own 15 horsepower 4-stroke. Honda's BF20, all suddenly redundant. Clean, low-hour kicker motors dropped 12% in average selling price within 30 days of the Avator announcement. Sellers are confused. Buyers know something fundamental changed. Pure electric startups are dying faster than anyone expected. Flux Marine raised $8 million promising an electric future. Vision. Marine bet the entire company on 180 horsepower electric outboards. Mercury just delivered every benefit of electric without the crippling weakness of range anxiety. 2 electric outboard startups are reportedly seeking buyers after the Mercury launch. Startups cannot compete with a 4,000 dealer service network and century of brand trust. Mid-range 4-stroke dominance ended the day Mercury started shipping hybrids. Suzuki DF70, Honda BF90, older Yamaha F75 models all built reputations on reliability and fuel efficiency. Mercury's hybrid beats all of them on fuel economy by 25 to 30% in real-world conditions. A Connecticut dealer reported 0 test ride requests for Honda BF90 models since the hybrid arrived on their floor. Buyers are doing the math and walking away from gas-only engines. Traditional outboards need 5 oil changes over 500 hours. Hybrids need 2 battery health checks and 1 software update. An oil change generates $85 in gross profit for the dealer. A battery health check generates $35. A shop performing 200 services annually loses $10,000 in gross profit for every hybrid sold in their market. When hybrids reach 20% market penetration, the average dealer loses $40,000 in annual service revenue. Those are projected losses. The actual numbers tell a different story. The ownership math. Mercury is not advertising. Let's run the numbers for a realistic scenario that most dealers will never show you on their calculators. Weekend lake boater, 50 hours per season. Mix of cruising to your favorite spot and trolling once you get there. This is typical recreational use across most of North America. Traditional 25 horsepower 4-stroke averages 1.8 gallons per hour across that mixed use pattern. That is 90 gallons per season at $5 per gallon, which is conservative in many coastal markets. You are spending $450 annually just on fuel. Mercury Avator Hybrid, running mostly on electric, with the gas range extender kicking in for longer runs, averages 0.7 gallons per hour, 35 gallons per season, $175 in fuel. You save $275 every single season. Over 5 years of ownership, $1,375 stays in your pocket instead of burning in the combustion chamber. The electricity bill is real but negligible compared to gas costs. Charging a 5.3 kilowatt-hour battery from completely empty to full costs 64 cents at typical residential rates of 12 cents per kilowatt-hour. The average recreational boater charges roughly 40 times per season. Annual electricity cost comes to $25.60. Even after accounting for electricity, you are still saving $250 per year versus running pure gas. Maintenance costs shift dramatically between the 2 platforms. Traditional outboard maintenance includes annual oil change at $120, spark plugs every 200 hours at $45, and fuel system cleaning at $80 to prevent ethanol damage and varnish buildup. Hybrid maintenance is battery health diagnostic at $60, software updates at 0 cost because dealers perform them during routine service visits, and coolant check at $40 if the system uses liquid cooling. Annual comparison runs $245 for traditional versus $100 for hybrid. Over 5 years of ownership, you save $725 in maintenance costs alone. The battery replacement question is the elephant in the room that Mercury refuses to address directly. The company will not publish official battery replacement cost yet. Industry estimates based on similar marine lithium systems range from $2,800 to $3,500 for a complete pack replacement. Expected lifespan is 3,000 charge cycles, which translates to roughly 10 to 12 years of recreational use or 5 to 7 years of heavy commercial use. The gamble is straightforward. If the battery lasts 8+ years, you win on total cost of ownership. If it catastrophically fails at year 6, you erase every dollar of fuel and maintenance savings with one massive repair bill. Mercury offers 3 years of battery warranty versus 2 years on traditional engines, which provides some protection but leaves a significant gap. Total cost of ownership reality check tells a different story than the marketing materials. Hybrid costs $18,500 versus $11,500 for a comparable traditional 25 horsepower outboard. That is a $7,000 premium you pay up front before you ever turn the key. 5-year savings from fuel is $1,375, plus maintenance savings of $725, minus electricity costs of $128 equals $1,972 in total savings. The payback period at typical recreational use is roughly 18 years. Drop a like if you're realizing the economics don't add up, like Mercury claims. The economics only work in your favor if you boat significantly more than average 100+ hours per year, instead of 50, or if fuel prices spike dramatically above $7 per gallon and stay there, while buyers are running these calculations on their phones in dealer parking lots. Dealers are calculating something far worse for their businesses. The dealer apocalypse nobody sees coming. The training crisis is hitting dealer service departments right now, and most boat owners have no idea it is happening. Gas engine mechanic certification costs $1,200 per technician and requires a 2-day course covering carburation, ignition systems, and 4-stroke architecture. High voltage hybrid system certification costs $6,500 per technician, requires a full 5-day course, and triggers mandatory higher insurance liability premiums for the dealership. A small independent dealer with 3 technicians on staff faces $19,500 in training investment before they can legally service a single hybrid outboard. Insurance companies are not taking this lightly. Liability premiums are rising 15 to 20% across the board for any marine service facility that handles lithium battery systems above 48 volts. The insurance actuaries have done the math on thermal runaway fires and high voltage electrocution risk. Dealers are paying for that risk assessment, whether they want to or not. That is just the beginning of the cost cascade that keeps accelerating. Parts inventory becomes a financial trap with no good exit. The typical independent marine dealer has $75,000 worth of gas engine parts sitting on shelves right now. Spark plugs, ignition coils, fuel pumps, carburetors, gaskets, seals, impellers, thermostats. Decades of accumulated inventory based on predictable failure patterns. Hybrid engines need completely different inventory. Battery management modules that cost $800 to $1,200 each. Electric motor controllers running $600 to $900. High voltage connectors and safety equipment. Diagnostic tools that cost $3,000 to $5,000 just to troubleshoot hybrid systems. Dealers face an impossible choice. Stock hybrid specific parts before customer demand is proven and tie up $15,000 in capital that might sit untouched for months, while interest accrues on floor plan financing, or do not stock hybrid parts at all and lose sales to the competitor across town who made the investment early and can promise same-day service. Either choice bleeds cash, and there is no safe middle ground. The service revenue model is collapsing in real time. The traditional dealership business model was elegantly simple and brutally effective. Sell the engine at 12% gross margin. That covers overhead and keeps the lights on. Make the real profit on service work for the next 10 years. Oil changes, tune-ups, lower unit services, impeller replacements, carburetor rebuilds. The hybrid model shatters that formula completely. Sell the engine at the same 12% margin. Watch service revenue drop 50% or more because hybrids need half the service visits. And the factory warranty is longer, meaning significantly less out-of-warranty repair work, where dealer margins are highest. Run the numbers for a typical mid-sized dealer. Sells 50 outboards per year across all brands and horsepower ranges. If just 15 of those units are hybrid, representing 30% market penetration, the dealer loses $27,000 in annual service revenue, compared to selling all traditional gas engines. The only options to compensate are raise labor rates and drive price-sensitive customers to competitors, or cut service staff and reduce capacity, which creates a death spiral of longer wait times and more customers leaving. Both choices accelerate decline rather than stopping it. The consolidation wave is already rolling. Smaller independent dealers generating under $2 million in annual revenue cannot afford the hybrid transition costs. The training investment alone represents 1% of gross revenue. The parts inventory investment is another 0.75%. The insurance increase is real money every month. Larger dealer groups backed by private equity or manufacturer partnerships are buying out struggling independents at distressed valuations. Industry insiders whisper that 10 to 15% of independent marine dealers will close their doors or sell to larger groups within the next 3 years. Rural areas and smaller markets will lose local service entirely. Boat owners will face longer drive times for repairs and less competition keeping prices in check. But the dealers who survive the transition still face technology that might not be ready for prime time, where Mercury could still crash. The hybrid system relies on a controller making decisions every single second: when to switch from electric to gas, when to engage regenerative charging, how to allocate power. Controller glitches mid-cruise could kick to gas when battery is full, wasting fuel, or stay electric when battery is depleted, stranding you offshore. Mercury's Vessel View and SmartCraft have a history of buggy updates. An over-the-air update could brick your engine mid-season. Saltwater corrosion on high-voltage connections and battery terminals never stops. Sealing electrical components in marine environments is harder than automotive because boats live in the corrosive medium. Watch for corroded connections, voltage drop, charging failures. If saltwater intrusion becomes a pattern across the fleet, Mercury faces an expensive recall that undermines confidence in the entire platform. Lithium batteries lose 20 to 30% capacity below 40 degrees. Northern states mean cold, soaked batteries overnight during spring and fall. Mercury includes thermal management, but that draws power itself. Does the hybrid deliver claimed efficiency when starting at 35 degrees after sitting at the dock overnight? Cold climate early adopters will answer this question over the next 12 months. Electric motor controller fails and you need replacement. Is it in stock or 6 weeks out? Battery cell goes bad. Does Mercury replace individual cells or force you to buy the entire pack? Early adopters are beta testing the parts supply chain right now. The question is whether you want to join them or wait. What's smart? Buyers do now. Leftover gas engines are selling at blowout pricing. Dealers know gas-only inventory gets harder to move every week. 2024 Yamaha F25, Honda BF40, Suzuki DF50 at 15 to 20% below retail. The window is 90 to 120 days before inventory clears. This works for buyers who want proven reliability cheap. Pre-order hybrid, but do not pay deposit yet. Get on the wait list to secure allocation. Do not commit money until first-year owners report real-world results. You position yourself to buy if reviews are solid, while keeping the ability to walk if problems surface. Mercury wants your deposit now. Your wallet wants data first. Yamaha will not cede this market without a fight. Industry sources suggest they announce competing hybrid within 12 to 18 months. Wait and get second-generation technology with first-generation problems already solved. The trade-off is 18 months of watching from shore while early adopters test the water. Verify your marina has charging infrastructure before you fall in love with specifications. 220-volt service at your slip? What is the cost per kilowatt hour? Many marinas only offer 110-volt service, meaning 14-hour charge times instead of 4 hours. If charging is not available or costs 40 cents per kilowatt hour instead of 12 cents residential rate, the economics collapse entirely. Even smart planning cannot protect you from marketing traps. The trap's waiting for you. Mercury claims up to 25 miles on battery power. The fine print reveals that assumes displacement speed of 5 to 7 miles per hour, perfectly calm water, no headwind, and a brand new battery at full rated capacity. Real-world range at 15 miles per hour with 2 people aboard, and typical fishing or cruising gear drops to 12 to 15 miles maximum. Plan for half the marketed range in actual conditions, and you will never be disappointed or stranded 3 miles from the dock. Lithium batteries cannot survive freezing temperatures without suffering permanent capacity loss. Battery removal and indoor storage, or paying for heated marina facilities, costs $150 to $300 annually in northern climates versus $120 for traditional winterization procedures. This is not a one-time expense. This is every single winter for as long as you own the engine. Factor that into your total cost of ownership calculations. Hybrids need less maintenance than traditional engines, but maintenance is not zero, like some marketing suggests. Software updates are required periodically to fix bugs and improve performance. Battery health checks every season ensure the pack is performing within specifications. Electric motor brushes still wear out if the motor uses brush-type construction instead of brushless design. Budget both time and money for ongoing upkeep, even if service frequency is reduced compared to gas engines. Will a 5-year-old hybrid with 80% remaining battery health command a resale premium or trade at a steep discount? Nobody knows yet, because the used hybrid market does not exist. Battery degradation makes resale value completely unpredictable. Early Nissan Leaf electric cars lost value faster than comparable gas vehicles because used buyers feared the cost of battery replacement. The hybrid outboard market might follow exactly the same depreciation pattern, or it might not. Either way, you are making a bet on uncertain future value when you buy today. Where this goes and what it means. Next 6 months bring first wave of real-world owner reports. Watch for charging difficulties, range discrepancies between marketing and reality, software bugs, dealer service wait times. These reports tell you whether hybrid technology is ready for your use case or needs another generation. Competitors will announce response plans. Yamaha likely teases hybrid within 12 months. Second-generation technology launches 12 to 24 months out, with improvements based on early feedback. Mercury expands hybrid across their lineup. 15, 40, 60 horsepower models all get hybrid variants. Used gas engine market softens as buyer preference shifts. Dealers who could not afford transition face closures or forced sales. 3 to 5 years forward, hybrid becomes baseline expectation under 100 horsepower. Battery costs drop 30 to 40% due to scale. Charging infrastructure improves at marinas nationwide, driven by demand. The new normal settles in. Solid-state batteries could double range in same weight, making pure electric viable and hybrid transitional. Environmental Protection Agency could mandate hybrid or electric for new outboards under 50 horsepower by 2028. Recession could kill demand for premium hybrids entirely and send buyers scrambling for cheap used gas engines. Technology does not exist in vacuum. Market conditions determine adoption speed. This hybrid solves real problems: noise, fuel costs, emissions, but creates new ones: battery replacement uncertainty, software dependence, dealer infrastructure that is not ready. Change boating forever is accurate. Change takes a decade, not a season. Winners are buyers who time the market. Discounted gas now or proven hybrid later. Losers are early adopters who beta test problems, and small dealers forced out by consolidation. What are you seeing at your dealer? Hybrid hype or gas discounts? Drop your intel in comments, because regional data helps everyone time this right. If this cut through the marketing fog, hit subscribe and tap like, so you don't miss our next video, where we talk about cheap Chinese outboards, so good they destroy expensive brands.